Hi guys, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron number 4. We're currently of course playing as the Elsalvador, and we're basically trying Republic of Central America. As you can see, we've actually already taken the Republic of Guatemala. We're now basically going to be working on Honduras. So we're in 1937 already. It's a little bit on the late side, but yeah, that's fine. We're progressing here nicely. Now, one of the things you'll see here is I have already justified against Nicaragua. 230 days. So I've started that whilst I was here at war already. So I wasn't doing two justifications at the same time. I basically initiated as soon as I could. And let's basically get these here as well. I want to basically boost that attack there as much as I can. So 79%. And these numbers should start dropping relatively quickly. Okay, Italy announces claim on Yugoslavian territories. Interesting. Construction efforts completed here. Already got the militarism here, that's great. Now, one of the things I want to do here is also basically get that naval effort done in a minute. Should I carry on with this one here or that one? Now, what does the Navy effort require me to do? I of course need to have some control of, Elsalvador to start off with. Let's do this one here for the moment. That's infrastructure. Actually helps me increase my production of resources and so forth as well. But it does something here in Guatemala as well, which at the moment is at level 4. This one's at level 4 as well. So both seem to benefit from it. Alright. So we've got 10 units going in here. As you can see, each of them has got a width of 6, it looks like. So this leader is slowly increasing. He's now at skill level 2 already, as you can see. We do get a stacking penalty here, unfortunately, which is a little bit of a pity, but yeah, so be it. Where else are we standing here in terms of research? Mobile defense, yeah, great. This one's still a fair number of days off. But let's keep an eye on what goes on in here. Right. Let's from there basically move back into that fray. I just don't want to lose that initiative here, really. Key reason I'm basically putting that unit in here is I don't want to basically lose this front here necessarily. Perfect. Let's pause that game for just a second. Alright, there's two branches I can take here. It's either integrated support, which actually gives me support companies, soft attack plus 25, organization plus 10, or line artillery, which gives a recovery rate for the line artillery, it looks like, and here overwhelming firepower for the line artillery. Support companies, I think that might be the better one to go for. Yeah, let's go for this one here. Okay. Now this unit here, probably want to basically take one of these units here that's really, really low on numbers here at the moment. I'll send it back here. Have to recover at least some of its strength. So these guys here are just recovering their strength, as you can see. Their morale is dropping, it's still relatively high. I just need to have the chance for these other guys here to recover their morale in the meantime. As you can see, these guys here are relatively... This down is relatively high again in morale. Both of them are doing quite nicely. So again, I'm basically going to send them into the fray. I hope that basically their morale will basically recover quicker because of it. Now, what does that little exclamation mark mean? The unit's organization is too low to advance. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to advance, but I'm able to join here in the fray, which of course is good. Alright, 88% where we stand. As you can see, you've got lots of these reserves here in support. I should be able to do that reinforcement boosting quite easily through the radios, I believe it was. So let's send this one back into there. And this one will also start moving. Right, we should hopefully be able to push them back relatively quickly. We do seem to be suffering some manpower losses here as well. Let's see what I'm doing in terms of recruitment. Now let's set that to a maximum of 3. So I'm not going to go beyond that 3 number. It's kind of like a magic number for the moment being. In terms of course my production, I basically got 4 factories, full output going into here already at the moment. Relatively high efficiency, which is good. So if I can somehow boost my efficiency even further, that would be great. Now this one here is got a really high morale again. This one here is doing quite nicely as well. So 96%. And since this is the capital, this should be a relatively quick win, quick capture. Alright, computerized engineer, or mechanical computing I should maybe say. And reinforcement rate increase is of course always welcome as well. Radios. Alright, we're doing it. We're pretty much there. It shouldn't be taking that long. Less than a day it says. Alright. There we go. We took ownership of them and we're basically going to take all of them. We took one state and Honduras was annexed and we basically gained 634 equipment has been seized. Now we do actually gain here a free dockyard. So what I can actually start doing, I can actually start doing work on convoys. But it looks like for me to be able to produce all of that, I do need some extra steel. I also seem to need some oil here. So those 2 are the resources I need to get my hands on. Can I trade for more with someone? Let's see what I can get from these guys here. The US. Let's get some from the US itself. And if I look at oil, civilian factories used available 1. So let's get some oil from Venezuela, for example. Alright, we are still justifying against these guys here. Should be done by July 38. How much would it cost us to justify at the same time here against these guys? 340 days. Sorry, what did the other one say? The other one say July. Yeah, July 1938. So that's later on in this year. Okay. If I were to go for this justification here, I said, how long is that going to take? 340 days. Now we're basically seeing an ongoing war justification there is giving an extra 50% penalty on that. It's going to cost me 68 political power. I think it's well worth it to basically speed up that process slightly. So let's get that done. This one should still, of course, be set to, yeah, it's still set to July. It's July 6th, 38. But yeah, this general here, I should be able to, of course, set a front line. Perfect. And I want to basically set an offensive line here as going straight into their capital city. Capital city seems to have, what is it? Division assigned to this order. Okay, I've got 13 divisions assigned to that order, so it should be more than enough. I got 13 divisions. That's pretty decent. The only thing, of course, here is if I look at the actual composition of these, it's a really weak composition, as you can see. So I probably want to basically change this slightly. I'll maybe add some extra troops to here. So if I'm doing this, I might maybe want to cancel those bits of production there first. That frees, of course, up a bit of resource and manpower at the same time. overall cost of that. Okay, so that's cancel. So let's edit this here. So if I remove that one, I save. If I add to here, interesting. Why is it saying that? Let's pause the game for a second. So that's basically my national focus. I'm changing the composition here, and as you can see, I'm basically spreading it over 2 columns as opposed to having it all in one. So I'm basically changing it from 3 to 4. What's the consequence of that? So soft attack was 28.8 in that instance. So I'm adding an infantry there, removing this one, and at the same time I'm adding it there. If I'm then saving 5, so it's still costing me 5. Okay, that makes sense. I read it as basically it's going to save me 5, which didn't make any sense. But okay, so industrial efforts here. El Salvador gain more infrastructure. Military slots, military factory slots. I can actually go for that naval effort, which gives me those extra slots there quite nicely. So more naval dockyards and so forth. But at the same time, I would like to be able to get to here, which is going to give me the extra factory. Or extra research slot, I maybe should say. So let's carry on with this path here for the moment being. Anschluss for Austria. Interesting. Germans are expanding as well. Peace treaty of... Okay, justify war on Costa Rica. Okay. Italian claim on Yugoslavia. So yeah, we've basically contributed to this a couple of times already. But of course our war justifications. So it looks like because of the way we actually done this, we've actually lost some experience, which, yeah, it's not really a big issue, but it's something to basically bear in mind. When you change the actual composition of your units, like I've done here, I've actually increased the manpower in there by about 25, well, yeah, increase of 33%. So that is now 4 individual items in there as opposed to 3. So yeah, the extra manpower should be helping out quite nicely. So we are still producing, of course, the latest gear here. Efficiency cap stands at 60%. Nice. Now, at least that's the cap, not the actual current efficiency. I can make a national decision, but the main one I'm basically still hoping for is, of course, reconstitute the Federal Republic. Okay, once I've actually gotten control of the entire Republic, of course, I want to execute this here as quickly as I can. That means I get the core on all of them. That should hopefully also give me all the population and all the key benefits of them. Probably afterwards. Who do I want to go after next? This one here or that one there? No, yeah, well maybe I want to focus on this first. There's a bit of oil here and there's even more oil in this section here. And oil, of course, is a nice export commodity. Total population here in Colombia. Okay, Panama, maybe that's a nice one to put on my wish list. It's giving me a little bit of oil to start off with already. It's quite an aggressive gameplay I'm doing there at that point then, but okay. Have I started justifying on them already? Yeah. So I've got 2 justifications ongoing. That's January. So that's January here. And that one here is, of course, July. So I should have my hands already on that territory in full by that point in time. Gives me a chance, of course, to do a little bit of consolidation. That's going along nicely. And of course, this one, radio, is coming along nicely as well. But we're first going to get that infrastructure available. What does that mean for us in terms of production here? We should see that boosted. Weather's quite nice, 20 degrees as you can see, 22, 21. And of course it's March, so yeah, third time of year is decent. Also, one of the next things I want to do at the moment, of course, we've got limited conscription. I'm quite happy with that. We've got, of course, the offense booster here, division attack plus 10%. Army experience gain daily is also quite decent. I probably want to basically get some of the support equipment in a minute. But that's, of course, a new item of research we want to go for. Let's first keep an eye on that national focus here. Hernandez, Martinez, Maximiliano. Right, 65 days. Zhangxi has capitulated. Nice. At least good for the Japanese, I would say. 68. 69. Perfect. Details. Next one, of course, is that research slot, which is quite useful. And of course, I can already choose a new item here. I can, of course, go for the Fascist Demagogue. I can basically go for Captain of Industry, Quartermaster General, Armaments Organizer. Probably I want to do something else here instead, though. Industrial Concern gives me an industrial research time reduction of 10%, which can actually be quite useful. Let's have a quick look at actually our industrial research. Yeah, we've only done the top one here, so there's quite a bit more to be done in there. So I think that would be quite beneficial to actually have as such. Alright. Alright, let's keep an eye on this. Research slot is coming along. First one to complete, though, will be the radio. What I'm going to do after the radio, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Fall of Nanjing. Interesting. So yeah, that's of course an entirely different part of the world here. Look at that. Japan is doing quite nicely over there, it looks like. Don't get to see all the details, but let's actually have a look at this general here. Where are we standing with this one here? Organizer, 22% done. Infantry leader, 22% done. Mountaineer, 16% done. Whereas this one's got organizer at 91%. Infantry leader at 91%. Mountaineer at 66%. So yeah, he's a lot more advanced than the other one. Would it make sense maybe for me to get another general here already? So if I take maybe a couple of these here. So let's say I take these here. Would it make sense for me to allocate these to a second general? Planning speed. You can of course recruit an extra one here for 15. Let's do that. Let's get this new guy up. Alright, let's get this one to report into there as well. Let's get this one to also be part of that front line here. And also be taking part in the actual offensive line. Key reason I did this, I just want to basically get a bit of experience for a second general in here as well. Not just for the first. So just, yeah, getting two generals makes it of course easier for them to get experience, but also at the same time I want to make sure that we are able to get as much out of the troops as possible as well. So as you can see, this one's actually done quite nicely in terms of his stats. This one's really, really bland in terms of the stats, which is fine, but he's charismatic, so the division recovery rate should be at least 10% higher than usual. Alright, the radio. Let's pause the game for just a second. So we're in 1938, so theoretically I can go for this one here. I think it makes sense for me to go down the route here first though. Factory output, or maybe the efficiency cap. So let's boost the efficiency cap first. Makes our items more efficient, which is great. So that's 79 days. This will be the first one to complete. And the next one, of course, afterwards will be that one here, which is that integrated support. Right. Country here. Do I actually want to basically start justifying this in a minute? At the moment, if I look at this here, it's got 200%, which is really not what I want to do. But yeah, I can actually put them on the table as being a potential acquisition going forward as well. Particularly since they're right next door to me. That sounds like a really nice idea. Pause that for a second, and as you can see, we got that one extra slot here already. I cannot get this one here yet because yeah, it's too far down. But in this instance, I can already go for the armaments here, for example, to get an extra military factory, which will boost my output of weapons. What can I do here? I can also go for the increase of the concentrated industry here. Construction speed, I'm not really benefiting from that yet, but this one here is the actual output boost. Yeah, we will benefit from that quite nicely. So if I look at the weapons here, could I have gone for this? Yeah, I could have gone for that. Wouldn't have done much except for basically giving me a soft attack boost of 5%. This one would be more useful, but we'll get to that in a minute. Justification is finished. Nice. So these guys here, we're going to be declaring war. Let's execute these orders. .96% or 94%, and it looks like they're actually moving troops into my terrain here as well. Looks like we are going to be pushing these guys back first. Taking that terrain, even though they might take one of my provinces here. I should take theirs before, I guess. Is that right? We'll arrive in 20 hours, 15, 12, 9, 8, 7, 6. There we go. Right, we won. Nice one. Take all the states. And turn and done. Perfect. Look at the amount of gear that we acquired here. That is really, really nice to see. So we gained some extra dockyards. I would ideally want to basically build some submarines, or at least other boats, but I don't have any of those yet. So that will be on my research list here. This is another 56 days. This is going to be 42 days. So this will be finished first. And I guess the first thing I'll do after that, I'll basically focus on researching submarines, I think. This one here, let's set that front line there quite nicely. Let's do the same with this one here. Front line there. Really the one I want to go for is that province here. So from there I want to basically set an offensive line to go straight into there. This one I'll probably want to edit this slightly. I also want to set that offensive line straight into there. Makes that quite easy as well. So manpower wise, we're doing pretty decent. So we got 5% recruitable population at the moment, and that should steadily rise towards 7.5. And eligible core population at the moment is standing at 1.49 million, and of course non-core population is at 3.44 million. Gives me an extra 0.098%, which is very, very low. So once we actually been able to just unify everything, that should make things a lot easier. Right, so what should be our next target? Should we go for here, this country here, which is Haiti? Let's have a look. 65 political power, it's going to be costing me 325 days. If I do the same with these guys here, it's also 65 days. Now where is the capital of Panama? It's over there, as you can see. Capital of Panama is there. Let's start justifying against Panama first. 65 political power and also 325 days. So 325 days, it's in the middle of 1939, I would say. Foreign expeditions, what does that do? Foreign expeditions, okay, there. Okay, national spirit foreign expeditions, which grants division requirements for sending volunteer forces, is reduced. Okay, I can live with that, I guess. So firstly on the table is of course the restoration of our republic. We should be able to do that in January at least. Alright, this one's purely focused on there, which will go quite nicely. Costa Rica. Alright. Research is coming along quite nicely here. 22 days. Now after the improved machine tools is completed, I do want to basically go again for items related to the planning. Because the planning ones really take quite a large amount of time. Okay, so it's taken me a bit longer than I hoped to basically get back to my state of being a full unified nation. But, okay. So I did say I want to basically do something in this section here. Now I did say submarines, didn't I? Is there anything quicker? Destroyers, they're of course nice to have. Surface visibility, etc, etc. Oil and steel is required for them. Submarines, it's oil and steel, but less steel. And the amount of manpower required is also reduced. Surface detection, ability to detect surface vessels. 250 manpower versus 230 versus the other one. Reliability on this one though is there reliability on this one here is 80%, whereas on this one here it's merely 60%. Well, let's research the submarine though. I think it's a good one to at least get started on. Might have been such that I probably should have started a bit earlier with that, but okay. Fourth International, good to see. Okay, this really not sure why is the efficiency not increasing further. Right, armaments effort. Let's go for that naval effort here. The Munich Agreement, okay. What does that do? In Europe, I believe that changes such that, part of Czechoslovakia have now been granted to the Germans, which is Sudetenland. Go back home. Hungary renounces the Treaty of Trianon. Now, what are the Americans doing at the moment? I don't know exactly. Caribbean Sphere, or Caribbean Sphere, however you want to call it. I don't know which ones they've already done. So Caribbean Sphere is the one they're doing at the moment. Central America is on their list as well. They get lots of political power out of that, don't they? But the Pax Americana is really the one I basically wish they didn't do anywhere near to where we are at the moment in time. Because it will basically prevent us from going to war with any other nations here. So if we look at other nations here, that is an American Republic. That is, look at the amount of actual chromium that they got here. That's, wow. Don't know anything about their divisional strength or anything. This one here is really rather limited, as I would say. But what have we got here in terms of factories? I would assume that we got some, more factories there, but that we could potentially use quite nicely. 14 days for that one to complete, so that will be before anything else is the improved machine tools. And we have to wait until January, like we saw earlier, to be able to get into that war with them. This one here, when will this be done? This will be done by June. Yeah, it will take a little bit of time. Improved machine tools. Well, let's pause the game for just a second. So which is the one I want to go for next? I did say I want to basically go back to the doctrine. Tanks, armor variants, breakthrough. Yeah, that's all a bit further down the line, isn't it? Probably I want to go for the support equipment. I don't have any of that yet. So it's my total factories that I've got here. For trade goods I'm using 4. For consumer products I'm using 4, and for trade goods I'm using 3. I'm not sure how many factories actually are here in Costa Rica. That might be interesting to find out at some point as well. It's 50 days, and this one here will be done in less, 40 days or so. Less than 40, 35 now. Any state is coastal, El Salvador. So I'll basically get some naval factories here, or dockyards as they're called. In the service of El Salvador, it seems that General Punchano Orbiles has pushed himself too far, and as a result of the bad climate in their operational area, the general has now fallen ill, and it will likely need some time to recover. Until he gets well, he will not be performing at his usual level. Okay, he's sick for 30 days, which is a bit of a pity, but okay. Leader skill bonus is reduced by 50%. That's for a limited period of time. It's probably all to do with the fact that he's quite reckless here. No divisions in basic training. I know. I can live with that. Various decisions available here. I don't want to do anything with this here. War propaganda. We're doing okay here, I'd say. We need at least 50% war tension in the world. Now, one of the things I should be able to do here, I should be able to increase this here. So at the moment we're limited conscription. If I go to extensive here, we need more war support. I thought it was world tension. But the economy, can we mobilize that? Again, more war support is needed for that. Okay. Naval Effort is still ongoing here. And we're going to call it a day as soon as we basically complete this little bit here. Perfect. Now that does of course mean that I now need to basically focus. Can I see my submarine research? Yeah, it's getting close to, at least closer to being completed. Flexible navies gives me a boost in various different bits. Wolfpack and so forth. It gives a 50% research bonus if not ahead of time. Valid for the next one research of the following technologies. Is only one of them? Okay. Let's get this one done here. Add a few more factories to the lot. That is quite useful, I think. Or maybe do I want to go for one of the other ones here? Army experience, equipment. Yeah, let's go for this one here. That gives me a 50% research reduction on the next infantry, weapons and support artillery. Let's just double check what we got here. I should have done this one already, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's not choose that focus then. Let's choose a different focus. Yeah, let's go for the factories here after all. Can always use extra factories. Factories are always welcome. Right, the US. What's the US doing at the moment? It would be nice to see that as well. The neighbors. Now where is the neighbors? Ah, Mexico and Canada. Right. So I can actually go for the early mobilization, which reduces my consumer goods requirements somewhat. Construction speed. This one's more useful, isn't it? It's a bit of a waste of effort to basically go for that. If I can basically go for this later on, quicker boost. All right, Quartermaster General, etc., etc. Fascist Demagogue. This one is extensive conscription. It's not available yet, unfortunately. I don't want to go for that one, but I do maybe want to go for this one here, ship design. Or amphibious assault. Amphibious invasion speed is increased by 10%. That would be quite useful, particularly if I do have to do some naval invasions. Where does that need come from? I got a need of 16 all of a sudden. Ah, yeah, those additional factories I got here. So I do need to basically trade for some extra, it looks like. Have I got capacity for that? Doesn't look like it, does it? So if I go to Chile, I cannot change anything there. I'm at the maximum at the moment. Right, let's leave it at where it was. Research completed. Now I did already say a new focus there. Concentrated industries. Nice. Then we can basically go from here. Conversion speed bonus 40%. So if we upgrade to a new type of weapon, it'll basically go quicker. That's what it's saying there. Excavation could be increased here. Let's go for this one here though, so it's a lengthy one. But yeah, it needs to be done. Nothing is in training, which yeah, I'm aware of. These two will complete relatively quickly. It looks like those two will both complete before anything else. Alright, Elsalvador stands united. This is still set to June, and this one is still set to January 5th. Now where are we standing with the Americans? Is that still the neighbors? Yeah. Right, 12 days for the top one is of course the support equipment. Radios, jeeps, pontoons and other equipment used to support troops. Right, details. Let's have a look. Of course I want to go for one of these here, but which of these do I want to go for really to start off with? Probably this one here. Is that an interesting one to go for? Yeah, amphibious is actually increased with that. So that might be useful to have. Now I do want to change my production here as well then. I want to actually add that support equipment as an option here. I want to set that to at least take a few of these. Then I'll basically set that back to increase. I'll prioritize that slightly. Now it does say I need some aluminum for that. I don't have any aluminum, so that will just lead to a brief reduction there. Submarines will be researched in 9 days, as you can see. Let's actually move this one towards the top. So because yeah, I want to make sure we get enough steel there. Right, I'm being stockpiled at the moment in terms of support equipment, which at the moment stands at 0. I want to see that increase, of course. Submarine will be researched in 4 days. Perfect. And that's still another 25 days away. Perfect. Submarine research completed. Landing craft I do need as well. Transports. It's the next one in my queue here. Now I do want to basically change my production, of course, because of this. I can start producing these here. got a decent number of these already. Alright, that's set to a decent number as well. Let's get that rolling again. So the quickest one here is 127 days, it looks like. And this is still far quicker, it looks like as well. So look at these numbers here in terms of production. Yep, finish that justification, perfect. $11.43 per year, so at least I should be producing one per month. So what I can do now here, I can actually declare a war, conquest, and I'll basically kick off both armies. And I'm pretty sure I did say already in the last episode, or a little while ago, that we're going to call it a day, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're now at 41 minutes of gameplay. So guys, I'm going to save the game, and of course in the next episode we should of course see how we basically are going to be able to reunite this entire section here into one nation. Guys, thanks again for joining me, hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, take care, bye bye.